My name is Isa Lose, and I have been teaching for over 20 years. Over these years, I have been doing intervention, which means almost like a hybrid of academic counseling as well as guidance counseling with the students in their classes, in their courses, in their academic performance, and just teaching them life skills of how to communicate with teachers, how to be organized, and just putting out their best skill set. The moment I realized that teaching was something I wanted to do was when I graduated from college, and it became just my first job, taking the standardized state test and stepping into the classroom. I've been a student athlete and then realized that I had an opportunity to impact the future generations. And a lot of it was when I was head coach of girls basketball team, I realized that I wanted students to have the experience of secondary education and being able to, so to speak, get off the block and see the world with different opportunities and having access to resources. So I knew then that there was a talent and there was something in me, since I wanted to reach a lot of children and just be able to help them to propel and give them knowledge to do well in the future. I value Christian education over public school education. Number one, the student-teacher ratio is small. Number two, we're equipping this younger generation with critical thinking skills, giving them scriptures to be able to stand on, and when no one is around, that they have their faith, and to be able, that's very important, to be able to dig when mom and dad are not around, when teachers are around, and to be able to have integrity, to be able to use it and to be a leader and not afraid to be confident and to think for themselves. So I think scripture really guides and molds our students if we're able to pour into them. I'm also a mother of 2 children who have graduated from here, and one goes to a public university and one goes to a Christian university. And I've seen the one in public university able to stand on his faith, able to reach out to other students in public sectors and in environments and just stand strong and know and be confident that he is building the kingdom and that he's an ambassador for God's kingdom. There have been many student success stories that have stood out, but what I can say, reflecting back, as my first year of teaching here, a lot of students were given the idea that college was a must, and that's where they had to go. And if they didn't do college, then they didn't amount to anything. So through scriptures, what I do in my classes, we always have a weekly affirmation as well as a weekly Bible verse. And through that, I've been able to help students build confidence in knowing that their paths are different, right? So I had one student who was a student athlete, struggling with classes, struggling with just getting homework, struggling with life, come to school really heavy, right? Tired, not getting sleep, not getting his survival needs necessarily met, right? So when I was able to build a bridge with my student and say that we would make modifications in his work and that there were times that he would have food available and be able to give him the resources and tools, he felt more confident, right? And then with that, also praying and taking the moment just to give him. So in my space that I have for the Learning Center, it's very serene. It's different from a classroom. Once they come in, it's more of a cafe style. There's peaceful music. There's scriptures on the TV. There's scriptures on the board. And when they come in, I really do promote that they come in, whatever it is at the door, they leave at the door, and that they're able to focus. So sometimes we practice mindfulness, and it teaches the students to pause, which is very important in a world that's so busy and they're evaluated on their busyness. I tell them to focus, and I help to show them that their quality of their work and what they do is so important. I ended up helping him by finding a pathway and being an electrician, which opened up for another student that said, I'm really interested in barber school. Like, I like cutting hair. Can I make a living? And so it's small things of looking and doing research and empowering them and letting them know whatever they're smart in, whatever their talent, whatever their gift is, that's what we want them to strive for, right? And it doesn't look like the next person. And if the other person got a basketball scholarship, that's great, but there's a different calling. And helping students be confident and hone in on that, I think, is really important. And that's part of the reason why I love intervention. If they have a 70% or below, I encourage the students to believe that that grade does not define them. And so a little bit of grace, a little bit of tough love, accountability, a verification sheets, even meetings with parents. And the whole idea of that is to let them know that we care about them, and this may be a season in their life. I've had also students who are in college say thank you to me, that they've been in my class for being hard on them on organization, on helping them frame their thoughts, and helping them know how it is to communicate with their teachers. So something I think that students really overlook is that they will talk to the teachers, but I teach them a lot to email, because that becomes your receipt, being specific with what's missing. And so in college, I've had some of those students come back and say, you were so hard on us and you were so strict in wanting to be specific about our emails and asking the right questions, that now we use that skill in college a lot. So that makes my heart full. Destiny Christian Academy is set apart through education. I believe that we are striving to be champions, not only academically, but mentally, physically, and spiritually. I believe that Destiny Christian is going to offer excellence and resources that is new, that is rejuvenating, and that will feel fresh to families and also to students.